Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the first episode of You've Probably Played These Iconic Riffs Wrong. Today we're breaking down one of my all-time favorite songs, Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. As a teenager, this song hit harder than almost anything. Even to this day, Wes Borland is still one of my favorite guitarists. I learned how to play this song ages ago, but after watching Wes' recent playthrough for his plugin, I realized I'd been playing it wrong for almost 20 years. I'm sure many of you have missed some of these details too, especially since a lot of the tabs out there have mistakes. The whole song kind of revolves around D sharp. It moves back and forth between a D sharp power chord and a D sharp tritone. Even the bridge sticks to the D sharp tritone. It's amazing how a song with just one root note and two chord shapes can be one of the most iconic numetal tracks ever. Now, for anyone unfamiliar with tritone, it's sometimes called the devil's interval because of its dissonant, edgy sound. A lot of metal bands love using it for that extra heaviness. You can hear it in Chord and stuff. And even other Limp Bizkit tracks. And newer bands like The Devil Wears Prada love it too. The tuning is C sharp standard. Which is the tuning for most of Limp Bizkit songs. It's the same tuning Black Sabbath used. Wes Borland uses 11 to 52s with a wound 22 as the third string. Personally, I prefer 11 to 48s on the 25.5 scale, because with 52s, heavy bands can really hurt my fingers. Alright, let's dive into the details. I'll start with the bridge section, which is where a lot of people, including myself, get it wrong. In the final part of the second bridge, I used to make this mistake. I would just repeat the previous 8 bars, but Wes actually plays power chords here. Notice how Wes uses his index and pinky fingers and kind of jumps between two power chords quickly. This creates a cleaner sound but also introduces small gaps between the chord changes. Personally, I like to use Dave Mustaine's spider chord technique. It's a bit trickier to play and sacrifices a bit of clarity, but it keeps the sound more connected. Now in the first bridge for the first 8 bars, the palm mute on the second fret D sharp needs a slight vibrato. Adding vibrato gives the note more energy. Without it, the note can sound a bit stiff. It also helps to ease off the pressure on the 5th string, which reduces unwanted noise. When you're playing this part, keeping the 5th string noise-free is super important. This is something most tabs miss. Next, when you finish the first 8 bars and move into the next section, I used to play it like this. But there's a subtle detail here. Wes actually hits an extra D sharp right before moving into the next pattern. Here's the correct way to play it. In a studio version, there's a sound there, but it's hard to tell if it's the turntables or the guitar. However, in Wes' playthrough, he definitely hits this extra D sharp, so I've followed that in my tab. Now onto the chorus. If you watch West's playthrough, you'll notice he starts with the hammer on, just like in the verse. But unlike the verse, he follows it up with right hand picking only after the chord is fully pressed. This move seems a bit unnecessary, since it doesn't change the sound much, but I think he does it to help transition into the dead notes more smoothly, which we'll cover next. Next, the dead notes in the chorus. In West's playthrough, he's doing this. Where his index finger is lifted, letting the 6th string ring as an open string palm mute. It sounds powerful, but it introduces a clear C-sharp pitch. When you compare it to the studio version, to my ears, there's no clear pitch on the guitar track in this section, even though the bass is definitely hitting a C-sharp. So instead, I lightly touch the 2nd fret of the 6th string to create dead notes, sometimes adding another finger to reduce unwanted noise and make it even heavier. So for this part, you don't have to follow West exactly. Do what works for your sound. At the end of the chorus, I used to play a D5 power chord like this. But actually, the last chord is a tritone, not a D5. A lot of tabs show it as D5, but it's definitely a tritone. Alright, here are a couple of tips for nailing this song. For the verse, keep your middle finger down the whole time to reduce movement. But when you get to the chorus, lift it. If you bend with both the middle and ring fingers, you might overbend, causing the note to go sharper than it should be. When palm muting the first 8 bars of the bridge, keep your palm closer to the bridge for more energy and power. See the difference? So yeah, that's it for break stuff. I've also done a full guitar cover of the song, and I'll drop a link here, so check it out. If you want to see the full tabs I made, they're free on my Patreon right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you enjoyed this breakdown. See you in the next one.